Hey gang, Derek here with another awesome Windwheeler video. So we got another unboxing here. We have Luke Cage, Power Man, and Marvel's Blade. So very cool figures. Stoked that when this wave was introduced, I was so into it. I was like, this is one of the best waves that they put out in a long time. This mindless one, Build-A-Figure, looks sick. I'd love to collect that at some point. But right now we're just starting with these two gentlemen here. This Luke Cage Power Man, I've been waiting so long for them to announce a new version of him in this particular costume. It looks very iconic, you know. The only thing, obviously, I wish we would have gotten maybe an extra head sculpt with him, but that's okay. I mean, still, it does look pretty iconic. And Luke Cage, the action figure, especially in this costume, has a long history on the Windwheeler channel. Some of my very first stop motion was with that Toy Biz Luke Cage figure. So it's really cool to get an update to this one, and it's been sort of a long time coming. And then this Blade, I've never had a Blade figure before. This is my very first Blade, so I'm stoked on that. He looks sick. He's got the vampire teeth. I mean, this is great. Marvel Knights, great idea for a line, and I hope they do more of the Marvel Knights. I'd like to see like a re-release of that freaking classic Moon Knight. I've been on the lookout for that for so long, and it's just so rare. I haven't come across it yet. But if they could re-release it, make it a little bit more easy to get a hold of, then that would be great. But that aside, we're gonna probably start out here with Luke Cage, because like I said, I've been anticipating him for a long time. And then we got tons of accessories here with Blade, so we'll get to him after that and go through all those. So let's take Blade out for the moment, put him aside, and we're gonna feature Luke Cage here. Having accidentally gained superhuman strength and bulletproof skin from a science experiment, Luke Cage becomes a hero for hire, known as Power Man. So I got my knife here, the old trusty Swiss Army knife. So the box itself, I mean, they look sick. I mean, here we got this beautiful shot of Luke Cage running. This is his classic pose. I feel like we're just missing like Iron Fist on this side. And I mean, I think a lot of us expected Iron Fist to be coming out at some point. And they just announced within the last week here of me shooting this video, the 2-pack with Iron Fist and Luke Cage in the modern look, his street clothes. It looks so sick. Everybody's been wanting that for a long time. So Luke Cage is finally getting some love this year, and it's awesome. I really think that, I mean, Luke Cage is a really underused character, especially in the live action stuff. I mean, Bendis really like took Luke Cage in some pretty awesome directions and really featured him throughout the 2000s, but I feel like he's kind of been sidelined again, which kind of sucks. He's such a cool character, and I mean, the actor they had playing him was so sick. I gotta fucking search up his name. He's so cool. Okay, here we have Luke Cage out, sort of in the package. Comes with a nice one of these comic booky pixie Kirby pixels or Kirby dots all over this box here. Looks very cool, and that's good. That's a nice background to have, you know, for your shelf display. Right here is the actual Luke Cage figure. So he just comes with a couple extra hands and a big, thick, chunky leg for the mindless one Build-A-Figure. So we're gonna get through the painful part. The painful part is back. We brought back the clam shells, thank fuck. We got the nice plastic window, and now we get to have the painful part again. Okay, I'll just stick that back over there for now. Wow. Okay, first impressions. Whoa. Okay, he bends quite nicely. That is great. The knees are not stuck, but it's not stuck, but it's not super loose either, which is nice. You don't have to worry about this figure slipping on you. Okay. Looks like this shirt piece too is like it's a separate piece, which is really cool. And he's got sort of the, I don't really know, this is the waist swivel, waist rotation, waist rocker. I don't really know the name of this articulation, but That is not bad. I mean, we've seen that on Doctor Doom, a couple other figures, a lot of Star Wars figures use that same thing. This looks awesome. Yeah, and he's got the pinless technology going on all here. Yeah, one thing about the pinless is it is pretty common to have like super stuck joints. Like my Hawkeye figure, I still to this day haven't been able to move his very bottom articulation here. I can only move the top like that, so that's been tricky. It's like his boot wants to pop off. Speaking of boot, does he have a boot cut? Or is that not a boot cut? It seems like it should be, but I can't seem to get it to work. I don't want to break it, but that looks like it should rotate, right? Am I crazy? I don't know. But I can't get his feet to bend forward, so that's a little annoying here. His chain belt is actually pretty sick. They did a really good job with that. And of course, he's just got the plain black pants here. I kind of wish they would have went all out and, gave him the sort of some dark blue shading on these. I feel like that really would enhance it. It's a little too bad that they just went with the matte black. It does look slick. I will give it that, but I mean, I do kind of just wish we got that little bit of paint detail there. There's not much to say. I think the most paint detailing, which I think for a lot of these comic-based figures, they tend to save directly for the head sculpt, which head sculpt is solid. Look at that. Man. I wonder if I were to compare this one to maybe the new Luke Cage they just announced, how much that's going to look similar, if they based it off of the same kind of, I don't know, head sculpt. They just changed the expression. But, no, I do really like this one, though. He's got good head articulation. He's got a little bit of tilt to it, which is so nice. I always love when they get a little bit of tilt because it gives it a lot more character, especially when you're doing stop motion, and it really does help. He's got the nice fist arms. I thought that this might have been the same piece that they used for, I think, for the Red Skull figure, but I think it actually is its own totally new sculpt, because the Red Skull, this would probably slip off the Iron Gauntlet.
Sweet Christmas.
Oh man, this is extremely cool. I mean, it's nice that at least they packed in an extra set of hands. I mean, that does at least improve the playability on this. I mean, compared to the original one, who had like some pretty whack, like articulated fingers on one hand and then like a eternal closed fist on the other. So it's nice to have at least the variety here, to have closed and open, or one or the other. And I think this is a very serious Luke Cage head sculpt. I mean, different angles, the way the shadows cast on it, you can get some pretty intimidating looks out of it. But yeah, so I actually just kind of recently watched some of the Luke Cage show again. I was trying to get a bunch of old episodes of the Defenders and the whole Netflix kind of Marvel cinematic side universe that they had started, and just catching random episodes, because I've seen all of them. I'm just like trying to like refresh myself on some of it, because it seems to be like we might be getting more stuff upcoming regarding those shows, and which I do hope for, but at the same time my like expectations are pretty low for Marvel stuff lately, so I'm just kind of see how it goes, see what they end up putting out. But I know that there are some mixed opinions on the Defenders show. Luke Cage's... Hey, I'm trying to shoot over here. There's some mixed opinions on the Defenders show, and I mean, same with Iron Fist. People kind of weren't super into Iron Fist, and I didn't mind it. I thought it was okay. There's some stuff I would have changed to make it a little better. One being just get him in a costume at least. Like, we didn't get to see really any of the costume in it, which kind of sucks. I mean, they really could have done like tracksuit Iron Fist. That would have been cool. But actually some of the best stuff with Iron Fist actually happens in the Luke Cage show in his I think it's his final season, and it was friggin' awesome seeing them like kick ass together.
I think a lot of people wanted that, and I could see them coming back and maybe putting out a show. I just, and maybe it's called Heroes for Hire, or it's called Power Man and Iron Fist. Like, it would be sweet to have something like that, but I really just hope that they just get the original creators back, and just allow them to be creative, and don't try not to restrict them. A lot of these movies and stuff seem to be made by boardroom corporations and stuff, and so I just don't like that. I feel like it's stifling the people's creative process, and also I think these time scales they work with as well really fucks with everything. So I don't know, we'll see. I hope that it's good, but I don't have the highest expectations that it will be. But as far as this figure goes, my expectations are pretty well exceeded, and I do think this is pretty great. I guess it would have been nice to have some, the ankle rocking here, and then also maybe a crunch here. It's not the worst, I'll be honest, but it is a little bit missed. I mean, Luke Cage isn't the most agile of characters, so I think that's probably why they went for this. And if he's got the exposed chest like this with the super low V-neck here, I feel like that's probably why they didn't want to break up any of this sick muscle here, so they had to keep that. But that being said, this is a great release, and I love the 70s era for Marvel. For me, I don't know why, it's kind of like caught between like 70s era Marvel and like 2000 era Marvel. Like 2000 era Marvel's kind of what I grew up with, and I did end up having like a lot of 70s era like comic books from my dad. So like I think that's kind of why I feel most connected to those two eras for Marvel. And so like when it comes to the figures, it just looks so good. And I think of Earth's Mightiest Heroes having like kind of brought it to modern day as well. A lot of these old classic costumes. So yeah, let's take a look at Blade. Sweet, we got the friggin' vampire ninja here. So sick. I mean, I'm really stoked. I've really been getting. I've been a fan of the Midnight Suns for quite some time. I think it kind of started with Marvel Zombies 4 when it really kind of introduced me to the Midnight Suns, and so I've been kind of a fan of them ever since. And characters like Elsa Bloodstone, Jack Russell. I like this kind of spooky team they have going. All these kind of dark, characters that have to deal with the occult, and I kind of would like to do my own versions of the Midnight Suns at some point, like for a stop motion. But I'm not really sure what to do yet. But I do kind of have a team I've been kind of assembling, and sort of my own mock team. Which is all my teams that I'm building are sort of my own draft. It's sort of trying to fit certain eras and kind of all fit together. Well, let's take a quick look at the box here. Oh man, legendary piece of art on the back there. It looks so sick with the big moon in the background. Destined to hunt vampires and destroy the evil of the world, Blade is a vampire-human hybrid with the greatest strength of each. That is sick. Oh man, and then we got all the rest of the wave here. Actually pretty solid all across the board. The only one not crazy about is this Iron Man armor, just because I don't know. I thought I never really played the game either, so I don't really have much connection to it. Plus, I just think Iron Man having anything to do with magic or the occult, like, it's just a little strange. Like, I don't know, it doesn't work out. I know there's the Mjolnir armor or whatever that he builds in Asgard, but it's a little different because it's still mechanical and it's just a mineral. But this, like, I don't know, it's weird. That being said, yeah, I'm not into I never really liked those kind of games, so I didn't really get into it much. Okay, so we're gonna just always get this sick art. I guess this is exactly the same. Would have been kind of cool if we would have gotten just like calm, chill, just smiling, not really smiling, but just like teeth baring. Here's the yelling. Like, I think both would have really benefited with just two different expressions But I mean, you do get a lot in this pack. Luke Cage is a little bit more sparse, but I can see there's some characters that they do really deck out. And I mean, there's definitely, they're definitely putting time on some of those extra characters. I guess I didn't need to cut both, just I'm a little spaced out here. Okay. Come on. Gotta use the knife again. Get in there, you sucker. Damn you. Damn you. There we go. So take that. Slide it open. Holy shit. This is cool. We get another one of these sweet poppy backgrounds. Throw that away. Wow, okay, we got so many cool weapons here. Some new things. I guess these are new. I'm pretty sure I haven't seen this. This kind of looks like the hand katana. And then this effect is friggin' sweet too. I like that. Got the mindless one's head here. But here's the main event. We have Blade. Let's get the paper plate. Get out of here. Oh, and he's got a sheath on his back. That's cool too. Shit. I'll just stick that back here for now. We'll get our first impressions. Oh, got some plastic back here. Whoa, that's weird. But it's a perfect casting of his butt. See this using for Invisible Woman, maybe? Well, that's actually not a bad idea. Hey, like casting a whole Invisible Woman out of this plastic stuff. Anyways, get rid of that. And we'll just focus on the Blade figure. So cool. Whoa, look at this. The color kind of slowly goes from black to like this red here. That's sick. Cool. That was a cool choice for the shading. And he's got Blade seems to be attached to the back, which is a little bit, I don't know. I think this would have been nicer if there was maybe, well, then again, don't want a hole in this. It's just made for him, I guess. A part of me was thinking of doing some swapping with the with that Nick Fury. You know, Nick Fury Jr. head that is coming out in that new 3-pack they announced. Fuck, that looks like a sick 3-pack. But yeah, I wanted to do a little bit of mixing and mashing with this, but I don't know if that's gonna work out. He's got a freaking katana on his back. It's not really a Nick Fury thing, but that's okay. This is the one and only Blade. Man, this is so cool. Wow. And he's just like running at you, teeth bared. So sick. Shit, man, just want to get a closer look at this head sculpt. This thing is awesome. Look at that. Teeth bared. So cool. He's got this sick little cut on the side here. Shit. This is such a great figure. It's kind of cool how there's so much of this like flat top haircut that we see with a lot of these characters. You know, it's nice to have a little bit of fro here with with Luke Cage. It looks good. Oh man. But yeah, we've been seeing this quite a bit with Rhodey. We've been seeing it. There's the new what is that? The Prowler figure. Yeah, there must have been a popular hairstyle there at the time. Oh, nice. So he's actually got some great boot cut, which is good. I love how the knee like pad is kind of also made into the knee joint. It looks very seamless. Cargo boots. God, oh man, it's so sick. Right on. And then he's got this body armor here. It looks really cool. I'm almost thinking that this jacket could come off and it'll still look really sick just having him with just the body armor and then the sleeves poking out, because it could be like the undershirt and whatnot. So that's, I know that's definitely probably intentional. It's very cool. Okay, let's get some of these accessories explored. Man, this is so cool. I mean, Blade with the blade, right? That's this looks so sick. The handle on this is nicely detailed. Yeah, like that is quite nice. Jeez, so cool. We'll see there, but you know what he would have really benefited from, actually, now that I'm noticing, is one of those wrist joints that go up and down. You know, those would have been, that would have been really sick and really take this figure to the next level articulation wise. Oh man, it would have been cool to get that to go straight out, but that's okay. Next time, maybe we'll get a swappable hand at some point.
with that kind of articulation. But yeah, let's see how this thing sheathes. Looks like it goes down like that. Shing. Oh, that looks cool. Nice. That is so sick. Freaking love that. Yeah. Badass. Alright, let's take a look at these other tools. Holy shit, these have to be some of the coolest freaking weapons I've ever seen. Oh man, and it's made of like a really nice, like kind of hard, sort of shiny, I don't know, I guess it's kind of reminds me of like Iron Man, like plastic in a way, where it's just got that hardness to it, but it's still shiny. These things are so sick, and they look dope in his hand. Man. So like, it's gotta be said, like that friggin' Wesley Snipes Blade movie, like the trilogy there, so sick. Some of the best Marvel stuff that we had in the early 2000s. It was really sick, and like one of the first R-rated. Like, everyone kind of touts Deadpool and like Logan as being like, oh, those are sick of some of the first R-rated. But I mean, we couldn't go all the way back to Blade, and he was doing that shit in the early 2000s, and it was just sick. But yeah, it would have been cool to see more of like all those ones kind of cross over at the time. You know, like if they were doing something similar. It just sucked. Yeah, everything was owned by a different studio. But yeah, now it's things are a little different. They've got a monopoly on all the content now, so we don't really get a variation on different you know, Marvel stuff, except for whatever Sony poops out. But oh man, that looks so cool. This is dope. Really, really is awesome to have this. And you know what? Like Blade is, he needs to kind of make a comeback. It's like it seemed like they've been working on a Blade script, and I heard they just like trashed the entire script and like or something, or they started shooting or something and then just cut all of that stuff. It's just like there's so much, yeah, craziness going on behind the scenes there at Disney. I don't know, but it would be cool to get a modern. But then again, it's like Wesley Snipes is like, his one is so sick that I really just feel like what's the point in like trying to top that shit, you know? I mean, they're just not gonna do it. They can't do it. Not now, at least. All right, let's take a look at these freaking steaks. What the hell? A wooden steak, like it's so crazy that it comes with these. Makes you wish I had some more vampire characters. I think I might have one, but it would have been cool to like get the old classic like Dracula. You know, it's funny that Dracula is a character that can exist in the Marvel universe. I guess they're essentially open. What is it? When they've hit a certain number of years, they become public domain. I think that's why you see Dracula in so many different things. Like Marvel can have their Dracula, and they had the comic book rights, I think, to it at least back in the day. But it is kind of funny to think like a lot of these characters have been in Marvel. You know, like even Frankenstein. Like there's a whole thing with Kang, where he fights the Avengers and brings a bunch of characters from different times, and like one of them is just Frankenstein's monster, the actual Frankenstein's monster. It's just kind of kooky and funny, but it's like, I mean, it existed in their own comic book. They were writing the comics at the time, so it makes sense. Oh man, these steaks are sweet, and they like slip right in the hands like nicely, and they just kind of snug in there. So there's a sort of wedge shape it has. These are pretty rad. You know, I was thinking, just because of this all this vampire like hunting gear stuff, just kind of reminds me of Van Helsing. If you guys remember or have heard of that movie with starring Hugh Jackman, came out in like the early 2000s, sort of in the same vein as like, you know, the Pirates of the Caribbean or the Mummy series, right? So it was really cool, just sort of one-off that just featured a ton of crossovers from different classic like movie monsters and stuff, and like Jackman is awesome in it, and like it's just, yeah, it's a sick movie. So in case you were wondering, you can swap the hands on these. They do pop on. Of course, the skin tone's a little bit off there. Yeah, you can really tell it on Blade. He's a little bit darker. And then I did swap the hand, just the one open hand here.
And I actually do think they have different sized hands as well. Like Blade's hands are a little bit smaller as well. So Luke's are a little bit chunkier. But I mean, you can kind of make this work, you know, depending on the shot that you might do. But yeah, it is kind of funny. But it's cool that you know, if you do get the full set of this wave, you know, you can do some swapping. And I've done that a lot actually. Like I remember getting the Alpha Flight box set and being able to swap a lot of the hands between like North Star and Vindicator, and being pretty cool. And it's nice, you know. Then you get some like variety and options for these. But yeah, just the hands are just a little bit different. I'm not quite right there. All right, these guys look badass together. That's the thing, is like Blade is a pretty cool crossover for like a lot of these street level characters. I mean, just picture like Blade and Punisher just pinned down just fucking hundreds of like rabid vampires, just having to fucking unload a bunch of crazy like, you know, artillery on, and to basically fucking survive like just barely. It could be so sweet, you know, like so much stuff they could really do with these characters. And I just it's all set up too, and a lot of these actors, like, they want to do this, they want to make this cool stuff, they enjoy these parts. Like you look at Charlie Cox, like he's just fucking loving being Daredevil. And it's just, they really need to like do these characters justice, and do justice for these actors too, who are so passionate about these roles. Man, these look so cool together. Damn. This is a very nice update for this Luke Cage. Just looks so much better alongside this Jewel figure, aka Jessica Jones. I do hope that they put out a comic book Jessica Jones too, like in her like street clothes, you know. It'd be cool to get that. I know they put out the they put out the TV show versions of her, and I know that this particular head sculpt is actually just a repaint of the Silk head. So I thought about maybe trying to pick up like that the TV show version of her, and then getting that Silk figure and doing the head swap, and then being able to have the just street clothes version of her, you know, as well. But it's hard to find that Jessica Jones figure from the TV show. It's pretty expensive, and I'm not like super crazy about the Silk character either. She's okay. I mean, I don't know. I haven't read too much about her. I read when the first introduction to her, she was just hooking up with Peter, and I was like, the hell. But I'm sure there's probably Silk fans out there, but I'm more interested in Jessica Jones, to be honest. Like this is where it's at. She's a very interesting character, and she's pretty well developed. Yeah, it'd be nice to also get an actual Purple Man figure. I know when you guys if you watch my Defenders, you know, more recent stop motion, probably saw I just kind of Kit Bass, Peter Parker head on like a suited body. Just gave some purple lighting to the room, but it'd be nice to actually get that actual Raft Purple Man. It's just fucking so expensive and hard to find. So I hope they like re-release that kind of stuff, you know, especially now that they have these characters all put together. But who knows what we'll see, man. Like the announcement of that 2-pack with like Iron Fist and fucking Luke Cage is just so sick. Like this is exactly what people want. This year is probably gonna be the best year for Marvel Legends of all time. From all the reveals and stuff they put out, it's just been so sick. Oh man, this looks so cool. Yeah, this is definitely a comic book I would love to fucking read. Just a crossover with these 4 characters. You got Elsa Bloodstone. Man, I really did enjoy Werewolf by Night. That was probably one of the more newer Marvel stuff that I think actually did nail it. There's only one kooky scene where like she gets her head smashed on like a fucking stone brick like 30 times by this big burly like bearded man, and then is thrown back, and I don't even think she has a bloody nose. If she does, that would be about it. Like nothing. She's totally okay after getting her head smashed, and I thought that was the stupidest shit. And it kind of made you feel like later on when she's in the cage with the werewolf, you're like, well, I mean, she did just survive that, so I mean, maybe she's not in as much danger as I think she is. So, but so like outside of that moment, I would say the rest of the series is pretty solid.
some freaky parts as well, and some cool parts. Would like to see like them allow themselves to be a little darker than that if they do more stuff like that. And yeah, let's get fucking Blade involved in that stuff. Let's get brother fucking Voodoo. He's sick. And Doc Strange, man. There's so much, like, literally Doctor Strange, super underused at the moment. I mean, he's like relegated to like backseat in his own fucking movie. And I mean, you could be having Doctor Strange be the Tony Stark, Nick Fury, just like bringing all these different groups together, like protecting the multiverse. Like, you know, we should be seeing new Avengers being formed with him. And I'm talking like new Avengers where you had fucking Iron Fist, Luke Cage, Spider-Man in the black costume. You had Ronin, fucking Echo. Echo's been introduced. Her show's not. I didn't really watch it, so I don't really know. But I heard it wasn't that great. But like, it's just they really could be working towards something more like that, and seeing that kind of new Avengers form, and pushing Luke Cage, man. Put Luke Cage back to the front, man. He should be number one right now. It just sucks. But then, yeah, I mean, yeah, and then also just building up their little monster verse that they have. You know, there's so much stuff. Like Doc Strange could be the little bridge between Monsterverse with Blade and Elsa Bloodstone, these characters, Man-Thing. So much they could do. I want to see it. Hopefully it's done. Okay, so I almost have it off here. I've been messing around, and I think this jacket can come off. Just got to be real careful with it. But I think I can get this off. Should be kind of sick. Yeah. Maybe if I pop the head. Let's try popping the head. Yeah. That off. I'll take the hands off too. It's a little easier. Oh yeah, there it is. Boom. Comes right off. There we go. La 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 la. And then we have this freaky monster, fucking Silent Hill over here, or fucking Toy Story. We see everything. So play nice. I think Toy Story is the reason I'm so obsessed with fucking action figures to this day. Okay, so taking off the coat, and as suspected, the body armor, you know, obviously looks like a sick kind of body armor vest. On the back, they didn't even skimp on that. So sick. Wait a minute. Oh, man, I hadn't even popped his chest yet, gang. We weren't even using his chest articulation. Holy shit. Now that is some range, man. That is what we needed. And look, it goes right up. They sculpted it right up. That's great. Man, they did a great job on this fucking Blade figure. Look at that. Sculpted right up, and then, yeah, he's even got a little plug-in at the back there. I guess you could plug in a different sword. One thing I would say is a bit of an issue is the fact that you can't get his arms to rest completely straight because of the way they've bulked out these sleeves so much. I don't know why they're so bulky. But because of that, he can never fully relax his arms. He's just fucking biceps are so fucking big that he's got a just super manly pose all the time. There we go. So this is the Rhodey head from the War Machine deluxe figure there. And it's a little bit on the larger side. I think that's kind of a thing with this one. Like I've even put it on the suited body figure that I have from the Nick Fury figure from the Captain Marvel movie. And looks a little big on there too, and the neck on that's a lot shorter. But this, it passes. I mean, it's not bad. I think maybe if I had the jacket on, it would look a little bit more full, you know? But you could get away with using this. And I mean, it's the same flat top. He's got some shaved on the sides. It's not quite exactly the same. I mean, Wesley Snipes here, it's like slicked around there, and he's just got the clean little goatee, sharp goatee. You know, Rhodey's goes like, it's a goatee, but it goes around the sides as well. So, but I mean, just still fun to play around with. So the kind of things you can, you know, try with this figure. And the skin tone's a little bit closer on this one than it was for the Luke Cage. Man, it looks really big right there. Once you lift it up, shit, I gotta put the jacket back on. Anyways.